afraid, and it's all there for the showing. What could it be said? What could it be said at the end of the day that isn't said? Well, Cody Rhodes, he continues to be himself, right? He continues to be his own man. He continues to show his own right. He continues to do his own thing. He continues to show the implementation of what is to be said, what is to be done, what is to be the only thing that needs to be done. It has to be and will continue to be. Yes, Cody Rhodes right now, the main man, the main man, the main man. And at the same time, we've seen other men develop themselves, right? We've seen other people continue to grow. Bronson Reed, he's a big soldier. He is definitely shown that he is a contender. He is someone that is able to develop themselves into what is going to happen in the upcoming year. But what else? We've seen LA Knight pretty much have a shiny, shine bright like light, but then at the same time losing it all to what has happened. But it's all come to the full circle. Austin Theory now being involved. He was one point at Grayson Waller, right? We got to see him last WrestleMania lifting up those trophies with Grayson Waller. Now we're to the point where he's his own man. They're trying to figure things out. We are here to the point. It's a new end of the year. It's a new day. The new day. Our heels. I mean, how many things have we not seen for 2025? How many things have not been changed up, shaken up, arisen a little bit of shaking, a little bit of doing, and they are not afraid to be pulling up those triggers. They're not afraid of doing those type of things. They're not afraid to have done whatever changes need to be done to build up onto those characters. They have risen and they've done what they've done and they do it well. And now we've seen Sol Ruger, we've seen Javon Evans, we see the continuation of these characters just continue to be an impact here in SmackDown, in Raw, in the WWE. So it's the holidays. It's the holidays and it's jolly, it's folly, it's a great season to be involved, right? It's a great season for Christmas, for Hanukkah, for the holidays, for Kwanzaa, for every single skit that we've seen along and see along with what the WWE likes to do. The WWE definitely in the news of what we've seen Ethan Page over at AAA. They continue to develop. We continue to see El Gallo, El Bravo. We continue to see El Gran Americano. And it's been great. Don't get me wrong. It's been the type of things that are defining the year, that are changing it up, that are making the sense that needs to be said, because at the same time, we're looking at these new pivotal places, right? We're looking at these new inspirational points. We're understanding what point we're getting into, what matter of fact, in fact, in stereo, and it doesn't come out to be, right? It is the ising of what has to be done. Well, it comes down to be who was Cena's last match. It came down to be against Gunther. Gunther, now a hated heel for a once in his life. He doesn't really need to have the title on him. He doesn't really need to be having anything other than just being a hated villain. He can have that on his side. He can have that on his back. He can have that for right now because that could be some carrying type of point. But at the same time, what else could we be seeing, right? What else could we be understanding, undertaking, under making about the changes that we have been seeing, about the things that we have been changing, about the things that we have been understanding? Well, we're gonna make sure we understand what point are we getting into it? At what point are we really understanding it? At what point are we really making sense of what it could be, what couldn't be, and what will be? Well, we're gonna see Bronson Reed continue to evolve, right? We're gonna see Braun Breaker continue to change up and develop. CM Punk closing in on those final years. He has a title right now, but what is it to be and the developing factors of what will happen for the next year? We've seen so much yet. There's so much to be said. There's so much storylines to be concluded, and there's so much to be understood. At one point, we're understanding that Seth freaking Rollins has definitely faked an injury only to get really injured, and we are breaking it down for what has happened all throughout the year It's been a lovely time. It's been a lovely fraction, but we've really come down to these final moments, right? They're in this tour. They're in this doing this tour of the holiday thing. What exactly are we leading to? Where exactly are we going? Understand it to the point. It has to be CM Punk's last ride, right? It has to be his last chance over here at retirement, at whatever he's gonna face. And we're seeing the same thing for Gunther. Gunther over here forcing whatever he's doing for the heel niche. He doesn't need a title right now. He's gonna continue to build himself up. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed in the division. They're gonna give one man to the title. Will CM Punk be losing it over? Will he actually be that person to lose it over already so quickly? And understandably, Jamie and Jey Uso are pretty much out of that main title picture, right? We're pretty much out. They're not depending on Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns pretty much isn't even involved. If anything, he's just involved in PLEs. John Cena has retired. LA Knight, he's not getting that opportunity. They don't really have any type of trust. We are seeing rising superstars. We're seeing Javon Evans really get that hint that he's going to be coming up to that main event roster. And that's, I mean, that's a good opportunity for him, right? That's something that we have to be keeping our eyes on, keeping it into the stands. What exactly will be happening? What exactly will be going on with the shakes up of the roster? Who's retiring? Who's staying? Who's making their self known? Who's taking on that presence? Well, at the same time, we're gonna be understanding what happened for 2025, right? So many people breaking it down. Tatum Paxley winning a title, Rhea Ripley being in her little rivalry with Liv Morgan becoming pretty much the champion, becoming some type of an iconic session. At one point, she was needed. She was definitely a top volunteer there for what they have going on. But we are wondering what will be happening. I mean, they took out Naomi because of pregnancy, right? But what happened to Bianca Belair? I mean, Jade Cargill now a heel. At one point, she was a good person. Now she got the title. Now she's not playing games. She's calling herself that bitch. And now we're left wondering what is the direction that the WWE is going, right? What is it to be forced and faced off to? What could it be? Like, it seems already so quickly. WrestleMania right around the corner. The end of a new year. The end of whatever we have here coming up, developing itself, making itself known, making itself seen, making itself be understood by what is what. But no, we're gonna be seeing it. We're gonna be understanding it. LA Knight forcibly did it. He got kicked out of it. He tried it out. Jey Uso, he got that opportunity, right? They gave him an opportunity. Gunther got an opportunity to retire and to have a title at one point, but he's losing it all. And it really comes down to be it. It really comes down to be who's going to take the crown, who's going to crown themselves the champion, who's going to continue to move on, who's going to make things that connect with the audience, with the people, with the things that are moving forward, right? We've seen how one person can make up her own thing and how they are changing it all up because they continue to evolve. They are making it into what they believe in. They are making it into what they are taking it on, and they won't back down. They will never back down because they're coming for it. They're trying to make an improvement. They're here in the industry and the entertainment business. And who else are they focused on entertaining but yourself? Well, that's what these people are trying to do, right? That's why we see the changes being done. And oh boy, have they been many. Oh boy, have we been seeing things come and grow and even intertwine. At one point, Grayson Waller now being part of the New Day, and it's just come to the show. I mean, let me know what examples rise to your mind when you think about the 2025 season of the WWE, but at one point it comes to show, yes, it's gonna be either Cody Rhodes or John Cena holding on to that title. Damian Priest had a title. Did he ever? Well, he lost it. He had a feud against Aleister Black, and then that was going away. What happened to you, Damian Priest? Aleister Black makes his return over to WWE, doesn't have anything, and then he partners up with his wife, and now they have something cooking about the necessary evil. Then we're continuing on, right? Other superstars, Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley has a title, loses it, gets injured, wants to go back for a title, gets injured. Now over with Io Sky, and it's a little tag team. They're not gonna push her, they're not gonna force it, any type of thing. They might be cooking it up over into WrestleMania, over for, of course, whatever they might be having, of course, whatever they might be understandingly taking it on into the next Royal Rumble or whatever part of it, right? Then we got Charlotte Flair coming back, booing her ass off. Everybody hated her. She pairs up with Alexa Bliss because they also had Alexa Bliss. And at one point, I just hated the fact that she was being forced into the Money in the Bank, into the Elimination Chamber. I mean, we all knew she wasn't going to win, but why is she being forced? Well, now it makes sense. They're putting her in a tag team. They've made that little friendship. We're not friends. Yes, we are. We're not friends. Well, they're friends. They're tag team partners. They done it. Nia Jax, she had a huge, horrible botch, and then she got kicked out, right? And then she's coming back. Everybody kind of forgot about that. She's doing her own thing. Nia Jax has always done good, and now she's lifting up a rookie, Lash Legend, who's tried it out before. He got kicked out, went over to NXT, pretty much didn't do anything good. Went against Kendall Gray for that Evolution title. Since nobody ever watches that type of shit, they ended up just rising her all the way over to SmackDown. And then Kendall Gray, if you don't know it, then you gotta know it because she's been doing a bunch of stuff over at Evolve, goes up to NXT, goes over to SmackDown, but then back over to Evolve, so she's carrying that brand. But I thought Kelly Armstrong, Too Strong Armstrong, was gonna be carrying that brand, so I don't really know what's happened exactly with her. And that's when we continue to go over what's been going on with the Vanity Project, what's been going on with the Evolve Project, because WWE also launched that Evolve Project. They had the Speed Project, killed it off. It was on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. They killed that stuff off. They forwarded it over and sent it over to NXT. Now they got those championships, right? And right now we got Keanu Carver or whatever as one of those champions, or maybe I've been mistaken and wrong, but the LFG guy that won that season is now the title holder. Well, guess what? LFG season 2 concluded. Shiloh Hill, I believe now LFG, I should have the leeway to not have to learn their full names or whatever. We'll come to the point of these people are now integrating themselves already in NXT or whatever, but the season 1 winner, the women, that Olympic winner was NXT, then sent down to Evolve, and it's just a little like, okay, who are they forcing, who are they not forcing? But at the same time, with the whole AAA, the WWE, they got TNA, they got AAA. We saw Joe Henry, we saw Laredo Kid, we saw just a bunch of wrestlers, Mr. Iguana, La Parca, a bunch of things happen this year, and it's almost impossible to continue, right? But then Randy Orton, and then he was at this point we were looking at, is he gonna get a title opportunity? He was a babyface. He got pretty much outside. He hasn't shown up ever since. And then we got the New Day being bad, and we got the War Raiders getting the title opportunity. We got the Judgment Day who want to break up, who they haven't broken up, and they invited now Roxanne Perez, who is the prodigy, and she went up from NXT over, and Trick Williams, who should have gotten up, just became the two-time champion, winning the TNA championship and the NXT championship. He had both championships, and then Obafemi had the championship. Darula fought against Cody Rhodes, that was stopped, destroyed by Drew McIntyre, who Drew McIntyre had a crazy rivalry against CM Punk. He hasn't had this opportunity. He loses the title because the Money in the Bank over to Damian Priest, but that doesn't really develop into anything really big because nothing really happens with Damian Priest, unfortunately. unfortunately. And then he's back into the title picture with Cody Rhodes, within the matter of the fact the whole circle keeps on closing on because it means to that John Cena isn't really important, right? John Cena doesn't really fit in this whole picture. John Cena didn't really click in, but we still put him in. We still abused of him. So CM Punk, he had his old feud with Seth freaking Rollins at the beginning of the year, then went over to Drew McIntyre, then goes over to whatever CM Punk does, but just getting involved in every type of scenario, such as war games and stuff. Finally picks up the title, and that's where we're at. Is he gonna lose it over to Braun Breaker? And it just comes to show it's so much groove. I probably have to make a part two about this, but thanks for watching. We'll come back, and the WWE's 2025 season recap has just begun.